Also, Thursday marks the 80th anniversary of D-Day. All this week, we are honoring the greatest generation. In fact, a teen in Asheville is helping shine a light on a lesser-known squadron with a remarkable story. Fox Carolina's Alexa Urbach brings us that story this morning.
This is kind of a summary of their service. I thought someone's got to do it. Someone's got to preserve this, and if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be me.
For 15-year-old Cash Simmons, it all started with a box in a closet.
Everything still works.
Filled with World War II artifacts.
His name was William Stevens. He went in as a corporal, came out as a staff sergeant.
Staff Sergeant Stevens is Cash's great-grandfather. Born in Waynesville, North Carolina, he enlisted in the Army in 1943. After going through basic training, he was assigned to the 24th Cavalry Reconnaissance Squadron Mechanized.
It's a small unit. They don't get a lot of attention, but they did a lot.
A few months ago, Cash met someone else trying to preserve the squadron's history.
I don't like to make a deal of the fact that Cash is 15 because he was working with me for at least 2 months, with me having no idea that he was only 15.
Mike Hind, a writer and former journalist with the BBC, has teamed up with this upcoming high school sophomore.
One of the most interesting aspects of the 24th Cavalry Reconnaissance Squadron story is the fact that they supplied some of the very first Allied soldiers to land on occupied French soil.
That French soil, Utah Beach, where they made an amphibious landing on D-Day, June 6, 1944.
The theme for me is very much unsung heroes.
Cash and I zoomed with Mike from Normandy, where he was just a few miles from Omaha Beach, doing research for an upcoming book about the squadron. This unlikely duo meeting on Facebook. Did you end up reaching out? How did that happen?
So I made a comment and said, "Oh, my great-grandfather served in that unit," and that got Mike's attention, and that's how we got connected.
It was a fantastic moment when Cash dropped his comment on my post, because my angle is the men.
But Mike says information on the men was very incomplete until he met Cash.
He had the original documentation.
This is one of the key documents that helped Mike in his research.
And so it was only through Cash that we found out the names of all of those men who landed on an island just off Utah Beach. That information is available nowhere online, and believe me, I've searched for it. And it's thanks to Cash that we now have a list of the names of those men.
Those men, including Cash's great-grandfather, would go on to liberate numerous towns in France, including
this little town, Saint-Pierre-Église, France, where I live.
Now, the hope is the squadron will get their much-deserved recognition. And even Cash is receiving recognition, worlds away from the Carolinas.
He is an international name now. It's not an exaggeration to say that. The people of Saint-Pierre-Église are extremely grateful for the work of the squadron. The connection that Cash represents with the squadron, a blood connection, makes him a really important person.
Alexa Urbach, Fox Carolina News.
Well, Mike says his team tried to fly Cash to France this year to thank him for his help, but Cash didn't have a passport. Cash's mom tells us they're working on getting him one so Cash can meet Mike next year.